Good morning, and I just made it to afternoon. So, Judy Allan here, San Antonio, Texas, and I'm going to show you what we're making at our tea party in-person event. It's tomorrow, so it's too late to come, too late to sign up, but there'll be another one next month, all right? So, but I want to show you because it's fun, right? It's about creating experiences, and that's what it's all about. So, I have options, right? So, I brought out this hat right here. Hats are always optional when you go do a tea party, right? And we were crafting, so it depends on what you can wear. So this is one of our favorites. I'll have to post some pictures. We used to go to the Mad Hatter when it was open and available in San Antonio. Us ladies would get together and go there, and we get dutied up, right? It's a personal choice, but we weren't making anything, but we're crafting. So I'm not gonna be able to craft with this on my head. This has been around since the dark ages, it feels like, at least since I was in high school. And instead, I'm going to opt for this. Now, I'm going to wear it on this side. I don't know if it's the right side or not, but you know what? It's your party, so you can do what you want to, right? And it's just simpler. And I can actually create and craft with something like this on my head. All right, so let's go down in the hands because it's about tea, right? So I don't know about you. I'm not a big tea person, but I do have a favorite cold tea, which is very berry hibiscus, and it's at one of the places we do here. And another place does oolong ginger peach, and I'll actually drink that hot. And then my daughter makes me one that tastes like Christmas in a mug, and it is hot also. So that's about the limit of my teas. So with that, let's go down the hands and let's make this bag that we can give to somebody with gifts inside. So we're not doing the gifts inside today. We are just going to make the bag. All right? So I have already prepped this, some of it. So the base here is, I wrote it down, 8 by 5, right down here, and it's scored at 1 inches on every side. All right, so you have to be sure to clip this so you can fold it up and make the base. I'm not going to do the base right now because if you made any kind of box or anything, you've done this. I've gone ahead, we're going to use 2 different adhesives that are good for 3D projects. I've done this here, I've already put it on here. This is your tear and tape, right? And let's see, I got an extra bright light here that's reflecting off the glass on us. It looks like I got aliens here. Let's see what we got there. There we go, we got rid of that, I think. Okay, so, I hope I got rid of that. We'll see in a moment. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let's start off with the base. Okay, the base here this is delightfully eclectic, and I'll put it in the notes. And this is nothing but 5 inches by 12. And if you've ever done any sewing and matching fabrics that's got patterns, that's basically, I've taken that same concept. So I basically have overlapped them just a smidgen, if you can see here, just a smidgen, so that I can actually line up the swans here. Okay, so it just looks like it perfectly flowed, and it looks very seamless, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take it, and I've left one little spot open right here, okay, because we're going to have to trim this off, but I wanted to be able to hide the trimmed off piece when we get there and leave a nice finish toward the end. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to line this up on the bottom. Now I did not start on any corners because I don't want anything to stand out. So see, I started like right here, and so either started or finished one of these seams right here, right? So I did that so you can see that. So here I've tried to make it look seamless. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to take off the bottom. And I was going to save the top part to last, right? Because it's all about working this around and getting it nice and smooth. And I might have done it on the bottom too, but I didn't think about it at the time as I was prepping for this, because I actually made this a couple weeks ago. All right, so all we're going to do is this 5-inch paper, 5 inch. So it's a 12 by 12 that's been cut down to 5 inches, and we're just going to line this right up here on the bottom of our base we've created. So you'll have to let me know what your favorite tea place is to go to, right? Because I'm always looking for a place that I can take out or go to and try different things. It's not just the tea, right? They always have little tea sandwiches, or they have little snacks, something to go with it, and so forth and so on. So, you got to be patient with me today too, because I'm actually We have no, our air conditioning is not working right downstairs, so it's nothing like having 80 degrees weather, or figure 80 degrees downstairs. And so see, I'm just going to put this right here, okay? So just take your time to work around. You can do it with glue. I didn't do this with glue because, you know, for me, sometimes my patience for waiting for glue to dry is not always optimal. Patience is a virtue, but some things really sort of test my patience sometimes. So I don't have to do that and include that, right? So, but just take your time, because your main thing is we just want it nice and smooth as we go around. So you do whatever works easiest for you, because that's what I do, right? I just come and I'm just working around. I'm taking my time. At least I think I'm taking my time. And I'm just going to work it around. Just keep on working around the base here. And I'm not really worried about this. It's going to be covered. But it's like anything you make, right? Whether it's fabric, crocheting, whatever your hobby is that you like to do. A lot of it's done by practice, right? And taking your time on some things. So like if I was going to make jambalaya, the really one that everybody likes, so that's like a 5-hour process, right? So again, though, it all goes to the prepping. So you just want to make sure you get things lined up and prep it and do it the way you do and comfortable for you. Okay, so I'm flipping this around. And yes, if you're out there making comments, fine, let me know. I'll try to look at you as I'm working this around. Now see, this one sort of stuck a little bit, but it's okay. All this is going to be hidden. So we're just going to work our way around the bottom of the box. And I'm trying to line up as perfect as I can, because it's about when it comes around here, what is it going to look like, right? So I'm just going to keep on rolling, making sure I get all my corners. Now here's where the test comes in, all right? So I'm not going to finish this off completely yet, because we're going to line this up. Let's see, I've got it sort of in the camera here. I might have done the camera a little bit higher, but I wanted you to be able to see. Okay, so I'm going to come right here for starters, okay? Now the bottom has adhesive, but the top part doesn't. So I want to make sure, the best that I can, I wanted to make sure my swans light up pretty good if I can, right? I mean, I don't control everything, but I might be able to control some of this. And I'm looking to see, and I'm looking like I can maybe line up some of the swans. Won't be able to do all of them, but some of them I might. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut right along here, and that's the reason why I left the extra here. So you see how that wants to line up right at the top there? So that I could be able to line this stuff up and tuck it underneath if I wanted to. Now you're going to save this, because next week I'm going to show you the other part of our tea party where we make this, we're making this stuff to go on the inside. So it looks about right. I'm not positively sure, but we're just going to go ahead and clip it right here. I think we got it about as close as we're going to get it. And if you want to, you can go, once you finish it, you decide to measure this off so when you make another one, how many inches was left. So you can pre-cut if you want to. It's all about being able to kind of line the stuff up afterwards, right? And I'm not sure. I may not be able to. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm not sure that I can. So let me pull this up just a little bit. I thought I left myself enough room there, but I guess I did not. Okay, I should have left a little bit of a gap, right? That's what I created the gap for, and I didn't leave it. So, it's okay. I'm just gently pulling on this, and I might have to live with it, okay? If I have to live with it, then I have to. But you can see I was really trying to line up the swans right there. So it looks like I'm going to have to live with what I did right here. And it's okay, all right? The world didn't end. The sun's still up. I'm trying to see if there's really not. I could have matched maybe this right back here what I was looking for, and I had accidentally did that in advance. Okay, that's okay. Let me just put a little glue here. This one I'll have to wait for, but I'm just going to flip it over, okay? Now, to me, the important thing is when you do this, seriously, I made sure this one was like brand new so I didn't have to deal with this. Okay, so the thing is, you just want to make sure that you sit there and get it nice and smooth down. And the way that I did this when I did the first one was I went ahead and put this on, and I just sealed it like this. And then I just pressed it here, and I just came and put my famous paper clips that I like to use here to hold it all in place until it glues. All right, and I'm just going to sort of flip it over. And when I flipped it over, I actually, oh, there goes that piece I was looking for. So what I did is I actually just put my glue in there to put some weight on it so it could dry. And there you go. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to start building the base. Now you could have, so I have two different things you're doing it with. I have this here, that's the DSP, it's just the other side. And this is, let's see what this is. This is 3/4 of an inch. And it's just a smidgen less than 3/4 of an inch. I could have put these together, but I didn't want, when they came here together, I didn't want to create a bulky piece. So I went ahead and I sit there and I'm going to glue these down all the way at the bottom, and then I'm going to come put the trim up. Now, what I did do is I made sure everything I did not start at the same place I did on the other item, right? So that I have not this straight seam all the way down. So that's just a personal preference. So you just have to decide what it is you like and what you don't like. And I did use glue, so we'll have to be patient for the glue on this one. And then when I get to the end, I just butted the ends up, right? So I had a perfect seam. And it's not, you know, if it does not perfect, don't sweat it. Because I'm going to cover this up with Designer Series paper. All right. Let me swap them out. I got this one down here for weight. That's not going to have enough weight to it, but that's okay. I'm going to believe it's almost done anyway. I can put some blocks in there. I just grab whatever's got some weight to it, right? All right, I'll go back to my full one. So that's all you need, just something that's going to sit there and let you have some weight. So I'm just going to sit up here and put glue on here, and we're just going to work our way around. So there's no scoring or anything like that. I just simply put, I'm just taking it, putting it at the bottom here, and I'm going to work my way around, okay? So we're going to work our way all the way around. I'm hoping that is dry already in there. So if you wanted to do both of these at the same time, and let's say I was going to do this one here, then I would just start this one, and I can do it right now too. We can just start it right here. So it's not the same. They're not going to end the same. They're going to overlap one another, okay? I'm trying to think if I can be that brave. I can't be that brave. Sorry. I'm thinking I can do it. I'm thinking no, I can't. All right, moving right along. We're not going to try that. That's just asking for trouble for me. All right, so let's just get our glue around here, and we're just going to work our way around. All right? I am human, so it's like, I know my limitations, and there are days it's like that limit is just beyond me. Okay, so same thing here as I'm going around. You can look at the bottom and see that all your stuff is evenly matched with the edges, okay? But that's one advantage of the glue, is that we can do that. And as I'm doing that right here, trying to get that down there to show you. Again, if it's just make sure it nudge. If you have to nudge it, nudge it. That's the beauty about the glue, is you can nudge it, right? You can nudge it up and move it just a little bit if that's what you want to do. Okay, so when I did this originally, and I used glue, I just took weight like this, and I just kept on moving things around, okay? So I'm going to do that here just so I can be good and show you what I did. All right, so we're just going to keep on going, and then we're just keep on winding it around, right? Now, when we get done, we're going to sit up there and butt the ends together. So as you can see, I don't have enough paper, and I'm going to have to go to another one, right? So I'm just going to keep on rotating my stuff underneath. I'm making sure this is about to the edge that I can get it. All right, because I used white. So if you want to know why I used white, it's because when I sat there and used black, I couldn't see it when I was die cutting it to do the bottom base, and so I just went with white. It looks good on the inside, right? But I mean, black would look nice too. It's just I couldn't see where I was having trouble seeing where I sat there and put the scored lines. I was really having trouble seeing the scored lines, right? I have to practically have sunshine to see them. Okay, so I can fill these in here, and we're just going to keep on weighing them around, and I'm just going to keep on adding glue, and we're going to work our way around. I'm trying to see how much more I have. At least get around this corner here. Okay, so we can do that there, and we got a corner here. And again, we're just going to keep on moving our weights down there. Okay, it's just nothing more than our blocks that we use. Okay, so you can see right here, I'm going to butt this right next to this. Okay, so I'm going to trim it. So I'm looking to see how much I have to trim. It looks like I got to go right about there. Okay, so I might have to hold this for a moment just to sit there and get it going. Or get it just hold still there for me. Get glued up. Stuck to it really good. Okay, and so I'm just going to do it like this. Okay, so it looks like it's a little off, but you know what? It's going to be covered up, so we're not going to sweat that, all right? Don't sweat the small stuff. That's small stuff. All right, so the next layer we're going to put on is the X's here. All right, so since I don't want you focusing on this spot right here, I'm going to take this, I'm going to sort of flip it over like that, and I'm going to put the weight right there in that corner so it holds it all down while it's waiting to set. Okay, so this one's done by now, okay? All right, so here is X's. This is just, I want to say it's like 3/4 inch. I went ahead and I've already adhered them together, and for me, what I wanted to do is I wanted to match the X's, all right? So what that means to you and me is when I get to the end, or I'm going to join anything, I'm going to find it where I can match it just like that. See how those two X's match? And I'm just going to put one over the other. All right, so it looks like I've got a continuous pattern. So it's all about tips and tricks on how do you do it. This is how I do it, right? So I'm going to sit there and start on this end here. I'm going to cross over. So you're going to see, you're not really going to see that seam. You're going to have to really look for the seam. Okay, so I'm just going to put the adhesive here, and we're going to work our way around just like we do with the other. And then we're almost done, because all we have left then is just put some trim at the top. And we just have to do our handles. And the handle is real easy too. And I'm just going to keep on going. Let's see here. So I'm going to need glue. So I got to put my glue on, right? So this was really fun, right? You can do this with any designer series paper. I tell you, it's easiest if you use a paper that's got something you like on both sides, right? And that's what I've done here. Because all the leftover, this comes in 12 by 12. And so save the leftover pieces, right? So you can make coordinating items to go with it. And I just heard that just rocking through there, and that's okay. That's what I needed to do. So again, I'm just going to put my glue. We're just going to keep away around. All right? So if you want to know how much it can hold or whatever, well, coming up and setting up, I had my glue bottle in here that's full. You can see how well this one's coming out because it's fairly full. And I had my thing of paper clips in there. They're jumbo clips I had in here. And what else? I had my brads in there. As I'm trying to think, I'm looking around. So all my adhesive was in there that I was going to use, as well as my brads. So it helped. It does. When we make this, we made it with 3 gifts inside of here plus a card, right? So make a cute card with this coordinated paper too, right? It's just a coordinated, elegant looking gift that you made where everything matches, right? All right, well, listen to those blocks roll over there. See, you can see it's stuck. You got to sit there and let it. That's why I got something to hold it down, so that it'll sit there and make sure things get solid and glued. As I keep on going around in these things. So this is just like setting it right, just sort of in the middle, right? Just to give it a nice trim. And then I got to finish it off. So let me show you how we're going to do that. We're going to do the same thing I was just sharing a minute ago. We're going to see if we can make an X. It doesn't look like the X is going to line up over here as I did in the beginning. Okay? So what we're going to do, I'm trying to see what was my best options, right? It's always about what. So if you can't have what you want, what's my next best option? Well, my next best option is I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one off here. It's going to cross, so you'll be able to see where this stopped, right? There's nothing I can do about that. It doesn't line up perfect on that. I did it at the beginning, but I could at least save it on one side, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I can put this on the back side so the focus isn't there to look at this. And you can say, well, how do you know whether it's the front side or the back side? Well, you design it the way you want so people look at it as the front side, right? Okay, so that would not match up perfectly here, but I did match it up perfect on the other side, right? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to take, this is 1/2 inch strips, and this is just going to come across the top, okay? So with this one, I'm actually going to start, I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to actually start this one on the side. You don't have to, but I am, okay? Again, I didn't want any of my lines being exactly the same spot. So this one I'm actually going to glue down with and use paper clips because this is a heavier, cardstock on top is, you know, definitely heavier. And I don't want it to slide down, and I want it to dry as quick as it can, right? Now, you know, the other thing that would have been real cute with this is maybe some rickrack, especially if I've had a lighter color. If I had a lighter color, I most probably would have done rickrack. I could actually add rickrack, you know, that you use for sewing here on the top, but I didn't. I didn't, you know, when I first made the first one, I wasn't home, and I didn't have all my stuff with me anyway, but I could have, right? But I just wanted to show you how you can do it with paper and make it look very, very elegant. You know, sometimes people go, well, what can you do with your 12 by 12 paper? You can scrapbook, right? You make a scrapbook. You can make cards too, but you know what? You can also make gifts like this. All right, I'm just going to put them around just to go ahead, get it to dry, because we're going to have to connect some more, right? So it takes more than 11 inches. It takes more than 12 inches, right? So you just have to know that you're going to have to join it. Now, you can make a smaller purse, right? That would be the option, to make a smaller purse that, you know, you didn't have to require such larger paper. Then you're just going to size down the dimensions, right? And so that's all you're going to do is just size down the dimensions if you want a smaller purse. So I'm going to keep on coming around, and I'm just going to use this to hold things down as I keep on working my way around and letting it dry. Reminds me of, instead of putting pins like you do in fabric, I'm using paper clips. It's sort of funny how we do things, right? Hey, but it's what makes the world go round. All right, so here comes the second piece. And so I'm just going to butt it up right next to it here, okay? I'm not going to try to go over it or anything because it gives it just a little bulk. I'm not looking for the bulk of doing something like that. But I do want to make sure I don't have a bunch of gob of glue that's going to like ooze out and make any kind of sticky issues. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this. You can see where I began over here, so that's where we're going to end. So I'm just going to look at that as I work my way around. And again, I'm just going to take my paper clip to hold this down until it dries. And it'll look like a nice, even, straight line. And then we're going to make sure they both cross over like that, okay? All right, so we're going to keep on working. Keep on moving it and working it. Okay. All right, so we're almost getting to the end here, and we're just going to get ready to trim it off, knowing we're not going to glue all this down yet, knowing that we're going to have to trim. And we're going to end with a solid seam versus trying to overlap this, because it just creates bulk, right? Okay, so all I did here then is when I got to this point is I'm just going to fold this back just a little bit here. Oh, there we go. So I can see where I want to cut this, and I might have to trim a little bit more, okay? But I'd rather trim than not have enough, right? Okay, so you can see I can trim it just a little bit more. And that's all I'm going to do. Okay. Now, so I've got that lined up. It looks like it could be trimmed a smidgen. It just depends how you want to do it and what floats your boat. Okay, so see how it's going to come right there? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on here and have it right there, and I'll have it hold it down, okay? So you can see this one's coming off, but I'm not worried about that one because it's done. But I am going to put some right here, okay? And I'm just going to come right here across here, and I'm going to line those two edges up the best I can. Technically, you would hope and believe that they would just do there beautifully and you wouldn't have any issues. But you know what? Each time I do one, it's just a little different. So see, I got a little bit of glue there. I'm just going to wipe it off with my finger. I actually have an eraser that I can erase it off too, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I could, right? So I'm just going to put this there as it goes to dry. And we're going to start on the handles. So see, by now these should be dry. And let's see what we got left. You have this one here and this one here. Okay. Now I could have gone and folded and done another one and folded it over, right, and worked my way around, but I didn't do that. But it's food for thought. If I make a future one and I want to, I can. All right. So what we're going to do is the handles. Now I have already made the handles, but I'm going to show you how I made them. Okay. And I don't need the glue for that. So literally, I took a 1-inch strip. So we're using 1-inch strips because we're going to fold it in half. And so I actually just punched the end down here. So the way I did this is I can't think of the punch name right now, but I actually flipped it over so I could see how this is going to line up because it doesn't perfectly fit. See how it doesn't fit in any of the grooves, but this is the size I needed, was 1 inch, because when I fold it in half, it's going to be a 1/2 inch, right? So it's going to reinforcement. So all you're going to do is center this on the back of the punch. So when you flip it over here, you can see what you're doing, right? And then when you look like you got it about right, you just punch it. And it is done, okay? So when I did this, I was wanting 2 inches at each end. So I just did it like this. And I took this is 2-inch increments. So here's 2 inches right here. So I just sort of bent it a little bit, just so that when I came around, I knew where to stop. And then I started in the middle. And I just folded it over. And so you are going to have to use adhesive, right? I used liquid glue when I got through. But I just went ahead and just took my time to make this, because this is like the finishing touches, right? So there's one. And my fold line, I can feel it right here. And then that's right there, okay? So that's going to give me about 2 inches on each end, and I just sort of eyeball it, and then I sit there and glue it together, and that is done, right? Okay, so I have already done that for us. So now all I'm going to do is take this, and I'm just going to bend it to put in our brads, all right? So I can take out the blocks now. And so you'll need something to pierce. Now I actually do not have my piercing tool here. Okay, I'll tell you what, since I don't have my piercing tool here, I will see if I can use this. So I was going to say you can use a straight pin, a T-hat pin. It's just hard to take brads. So, you know, the tip is that it's hard to take brads and punch a hole through 2 layers of paper, okay? I'm just saying, putting it out there for you. It's just a little hard to do. I tried it and really didn't have very much success. I had great success of bending the brads, but not sitting up there and getting it to push through for me on its own without me making a hole to begin with. Okay, so if I showed you the original purse that I made, you can see I came down below this here because the trim is just going to be a little tedious to go through. I could do that, but I didn't. I just came down just a little bit, okay? So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to come down. I'm going to use my block, I think, for the moment. I really don't have anything. I'm just coming down. It looks like about 1/4 inch. Yeah, this might not work. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, so the paper clip end did work. Yay. All right, so I'm just going to take this here, and I'm going to take my brad, and we're just going to punch it through. All the way. See, it wants to bend. All right, so we're just going to punch it through. I did mine where it made it look like a diamond. But you can do it any way you want, right? Because they turn. If you want to glue it down, you can. I did not. And I just sort of eyeballed it, right? Because really and truly, whoever I give this to is going to be amazed that I even made this. In fact, somebody yesterday said they didn't know you could do this. I said, yes, you can do it. You can do a lot of things with paper, right? All right, same thing there. Just punch one hole through there. I've got my brad that we're going to put on here. Yeah, so right, you get 4 brads. You get 2 on each side. I'm trying to see if I can see the hole now. Punch that through. I don't know about you, but sometimes just the black, just dealing with black, it's like, it's great to wear, right? It's sharp and pretty awesome when you decorate and do with it. All right, so we got one strap on there. We're gonna come the other side, and I just eyeballed it, right? And if you have to tweak it, just tweak it. That's all you gotta do. All right, so here's the other one, and I'm just eyeball it on the other side about what I did. I did the first one. I think I actually mashed them together to get it exact, but you know, it doesn't have to be that exact. Let's see if I can do it without them. Either that or, you know what, I posted something where somebody, old school way of measuring and hand sewing was is you marked 1/4 of an inch or whatever on your fingernail, which you could do that here, right? If you want 1/4 inch, mark 1/4 of an inch on your fingernail and use your fingernail as the guide. I think that's such a cool concept, right? Things people used to do, and maybe still do, and, you know, to make things, you know, work for them and make it easier to get that straight line. Especially if you think you're hand sewing, right? I have hand sewed before. If you've never hand sewed and you're trying to draw and do a straight line with nothing, it can be tedious, right? So here we go. We just got one more, and we're gonna have our purse finished, right? I'm just gonna put that there. Let's get the other one over here. We're gonna punch it, eyeballing it again about the same spot distance. Yeah, it's just easier. Just do it like right here and get it going first. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get the brad on here. And that's it. I mean, that is the decoration of the purse. I didn't do anything else. That's the limit. We'll get this up and we can fluff it up, pretty it up. Anything you want to do, right? Okay, so we're just going to get this last brad in, and we have a purse. So you just want to get those brads in there. All right. Okay, so here we go. So if you need to touch anything up, like I squished this in a minute, so I'm just going to sit there and press it out to make the handle. Okay, so there we go. What do you think? We sat there and able to make, with me talking and everything, a purse in 32 minutes and give you instructions and tips and tricks along the way, right? So I hope you enjoyed that, right? Let's go to the face here, and I'll hold that up. Yes, I did it with my thing on, my hat on too. So looky there. So see, by sitting there and just making sure you don't do everything sealed at the same spot. So, you know, you have a little bit of seam here, but you really don't notice the other one, okay? And so that's the key thing, is I made it as seamless as I could. Top, bottom, everything, so there isn't a focal point of looking at one big seam, right? If you just sort of stagger things along, that's what you will get, all right? So, yes, it's tea party time tomorrow, so we're going to have a little party as we make the gifts and so forth and all. And next week, I'll show you the gifts that we made to go on the inside and show you how to make them. All right? With that, be blessed. Have a totally amazing week. I am busy still finishing up retreat, and the club, the Adventure Club kits, all that stuff is going out tomorrow and Friday. So I am busy, right, in a tea party. So with that, be blessed. Go out there, create, share, and give, and make a difference in someone's life, all right? And be sure to follow us here on Facebook if you don't. And this will be posted on YouTube, so be sure to follow us on YouTube, and we'll also post on Instagram. Have an amazing week. See you next week as we finish the inside components of this purse. Bye.